You guys, let's snuggle up with our blankets and our sweaters and just braid our hair and get really relaxed and talk about the dark empath. We're not even going to care what our hair looks like. All right. So we all understand that in the universe, everything is balanced. And with that, there's a lot of light workers, right? Well, there's also dark empaths. They tend to be aware of their ability at very young ages. And they sabotage and are magnetically drawn like a lock, like a key, because they are, to an empath. So this is going to get really complicated. So you're always going to have to look within yourself because you have narcissism and you have empathy. So you're both a narcissist and an empath in a way in your life, because it is self-preservation as much as it is caring and giving, right? But what monster got fed when you were really, really little? And what did society put into the monster? Or were you able to tread water long enough and be that survivor to only then getting into a medium adulthood and attract the exact same situation, if not worse, that you had as a child? And so if you are new here, welcome to 1111 Tarot. I'm Danny, affectionately known as Mama D. And if you are returning, welcome home, my beautifuls. I love you all. Whether new or returning, I appreciate you all very much. But before we go anywhere with getting onto the board, the 1111 board, and doing a little read, it's very important that we understand how this cycle worked before we're going to understand this read. And that is that lesson that you went through that second time around of a narcissist, when you're in your own ability to choose, and we went through an experience, we can look back on it and realize that they were actually the catapult to where we are. So we learned to protect ourselves, and we realized that we do have to put those moats and those castle walls around us and have others gain permission to come into our space. Because if we don't, we're overrun by alligators and hoodlums robbing us, stealing us, and they just trample all over us. And so we came from a place where we're cut differently. Our cloth that we were made from out of our DNA has been always more of the natural empath, just naturally a forgiveness that we granted. We made excuses for people. We refused to believe the worst in something. And in doing that, we had a tower moment when our belief system got changed, and we realized at some point in our life, we were made to feel so insignificant that we lost our own identity. And therefore, we are attracted to that light where somebody says, hey, I see you. I feel you. You're with me. And then they give us this smile, and we're like, oh, hi. We're just so delighted. But we don't know that they're already one up on us, because these individuals have cradled and nurtured their deepest fears. They have not developed their identity. They don't know who they are. And they're starving to feel real. They're usually somebody that is in the lowest vibration. They have addictions and attachments, and they're numbing possibly, or they are numbing. They're either, plaguing their brain with programming from the TV, like Cable Guy, right? With Jim Carrey. Or they're numbing with some type of a drug, or they're obsessed with money and they're focused. So these are just individuals that have not matured yet. They're still in that low vibration, that immature of really not knowing who they are. And they haven't discovered that part about them. But they're so damaged that if we look at them in a deeper sense, they don't even know if they're real themselves. They've lost their footing and their grounding, and they don't know who they are legitimately. And they disconnect from reality with those attachments. And they get that surreal feeling where it's almost like they're living out a fake dream that they're not sure they're real or part of. And that's why they're looking for somebody that grounds them and makes it feel real. Somebody that is do or die till the end, no matter what, right? Somebody that can carry them through their very depressed state, no matter how egotistical they are or how inflated their ego is. They want somebody to carry them through, because they want to ride on this wagon and just feel like, is it over yet? Because they're miserable inside. They don't even begin to look inside for the healing. In fact, many of them don't want healing at all. They're more attracted with power, energy, and owning, possessing, not creating. They don't want to create. They want to own, right? And so they know how to work things much sooner because they're the trigger, right? So first they chase, and then boom, they get it. And as soon as they've got it, they start to mold it and create it. Where were you? And you were like, in the backyard? Who were you talking to? The neighbor? You should have been paying attention. You should have thought about that. You should have made plans. You should have. See, that's how you are. That's what you do. And it's all deflection to make you feel smaller, right? But you put on a great show for everybody in the real world because you don't want to give off that bad vibe. You don't want to be responsible for lowering everybody else's energy. And so we mask it all, and we're like, put the makeup on the bruise, or whatever we do. We cover it. We mask it. Male and female. Because we're all victims at times. And then we become warriors. And one day, when we start seeing this person as almost like deficient in reality, we look at them and we're like, wait a minute. What the hell am I doing? Why am I participating in this? Whoa, what is wrong with me? Oh no, I'm packing my stuff, or they gotta go. I need away from this. And you go away from it and you're like, whew, oh my golly. But within like 3 days, you're like, where are they? Are they okay? I mean, are they cold? Are they hungry? And you're now back on them because your brain is hooked on that dopamine that they've been spiking you with, and on that adrenaline, because they're triggering you consistently for flight or fight. And so your chemicals in your brain are shooting up and shooting up, and it's addicting. And we don't even know it because they're pushing the buttons of the pineal and the pituitary gland to flash and give a big burst of energy at once that they just eat up. I've even had it to where some of the people that have expressed these things with me have said, they told me they liked it when I was mad. They literally enjoyed it. Because these people are the energy vampires you hear about. But that feed you keep getting, that burst of chemicals in your brain every single time that you try to separate is a true addiction. And so you're going to go through a depressed level of chemicals in order to segregate, separate. And with that, you now have an understanding of the silver-tongued fox that is, so able to go through life living off of you and everybody else, and making people apologize that they're not treated better. The dark empath. Now, tonight when we come together, we're going to be detoxifying our energy. And people have asked me so many times, how do you actually cut the cord, to this dark empath versus a light empath? How do you get rid of it? Well, the first step is identifying that they're still in your energy. Identifying that you're bringing them up. You're speaking the words. You're thinking the thoughts because you're manifesting their energy. Whether they're coming towards you now or not, they're in your energy. And you've got to really understand that is truly calling card them because they are in your energy. And so the first thing we have to do is stop. Number one, here we go. If you're taking notes, number one, never speak their name. Do not give them that energy. Do not call them out. Do not speak of their name. Do not refer to them. Number two, block them on every level that you can imagine, including like Duo and Twitter, Instagram, programs you don't even use because they're going to try. Don't feed it energy by saying, gosh, I lost X amount of years or months with this person, so there go all those memories. If it was a beautiful boat trip where you saw amazing things and you did this and you were happy about that, that's all yours to keep. Yes, you don't have to give up any good memories because you had them with you. Your inner child loved that moment. And that is yours to keep. That is yours to own. For every time there was something good, I guarantee you, you were the base of it. Now, one way that I do is I take something of theirs that maybe this person gave me or they wore, whatever, and I simply go out to the divine in nature and I either burn it and offer it of positive energy, of love and light, and I wish them well, and I wish them away. I wish them well on their highest path and highest journey, and I wish them to travel away. Now, I'm praying to the utmost high creator, but it is a spell because words are spells. So a spell is the intent with which I want something. And then the divine hears it. The universe picks up on that. Just like you type in a keyboard, you enter, I wish them well, and I wish them away. Enter, and poof, you blocked them on Facebook. You blocked them, you blocked them, you blocked them. And now, you want to cleanse your energy. soak in Epsom salt, take a long hot shower, go for a swim, jog around the block, whatever you have to do, dance in your pajamas, whatever you have to do, cry in your pillow, beat your pillow, whatever you have to do to physically get exhausted of them. When you're at that exhausted moment, just imagine scanning them from the top to the bottom once. They're in a little, they've stepped through the little portal, the white doors open, shh, and here comes the dark empath, and he steps into the light. Choom, 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 choom. Boxed in. Dark empath. Here we go. Currently being deleted. And as that comes together, the as above, as below in you, little parts defragment of the dark empath. Because you take back your energy and you reclaim it. And you're like, those are my feelings. No. That was my idea. Hey, that's my integrity. I'll take that back. Do you have my dignity on you? Oh yeah, I see you tried to wipe your shoes on it. It didn't work, did it? Thank you. I'll reclaim that. And you never have to talk to the person. And pretty soon, it's like they just slowly, mean energy transmuted away. And you heal the darkest, deepest part of your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your sexual parts. You heal that root foundation of knowing. You've got back everything. They never got to keep any of you. None of you. You're whole. They were never half of you. They are not part of you. In another lifetime, they will change. They are a karmic loop that you've played over from lifetime to lifetime after lifetime, and I could keep going. And finally, you've got the ability, the strength, the wisdom, the courage, the confidence to be free when nobody else in your generations have done that. Like truly free. There's no dread. There's no pressure. There's no worry. There's no chaos like that. And the dark empath is no more. The light wins. And the light will always win. I promise you that. Because the light is the creator. I thank you for this. I thank you for sharing your time with me, your energy, as we grow together, as we learn together. It's all about expressing ourselves, being creative, transmuting the energy. I'm going to give you, now, if you're staying with me, well, let's do this. If this is where you leave me, I humbly love you. I truly do. I am so delighted that you guys embrace what I am given to share from my own personal experiences, as well as working with so many individuals in the private readings. I get a broader perspective through all the readings given, and I'm able to transmute that energy into this message of guidance so that you realize the dark empath is all on their own now. You've cut the tie. But I want to thank you for that. All right, so now if you're still with me, let's pull a little closer. All right. So it was so weird because, whoops, I just dropped the other phone. Hey, drop the phone. Let's whisper. All right. So once upon a time, I had the dark empath come back after a long time. long, long time, years. And I convinced myself it was all going to be wonderful now because he knew what he missed. But I was wrong. He had given me a gift, and it was a glass goblet that was very rare and very old. And it was gorgeous. And then he, as the dark empath will, showed the colors, the true colors. I'm like, nope, 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 not for me. So I took the goblet out into nature over the river, or a pond actually, and a duck pond, very early in the morning. I took it in a pillowcase, and I took a hammer, a big metal hammer. And it was like a goblet, like it had its own life. It was beautiful. And it was green. It was uranium glass. Like I said, it was very rare. And I put it inside this pillowcase, and I went out there and I laid it on the road, and I smashed it into a million pieces in the pillowcase. And then I simply turned the pillowcase inside out and held onto the pillowcase and waved it like this as the wind blew. And the beautiful green glitter of glass in the smallest fragments you can imagine just like magically blew in the air and just shimmered across the pond. And I was like, whew, it's done. Over. And it basically was. There was a few details to wrap up, which we did. And I knew at that moment, though, I had won. Because it wasn't a competition for me. It was a competition for him. For me, I just wanted to be safe, loved, and secure. And I ended up getting that. Because I stepped forward for me. And it was so hard. Oh my God. I can remember 4 o'clock in the morning crying my eyes out at work. And having to make excuses why I was like, couldn't hardly breathe because of panic attacks. Look how far I've come, though. That was years ago. But you see what I'm saying? Look how far you've come. If I were you, I'd be very proud of myself. And if you're just going through this and this landed in your lap, we're here for you. We are. And doing what's best for you is going to take you a long way, baby. I promise. All right, my lovely. Again, thank you. And this is the real time to go. I love you. To the moon and back. Namaste.